Hi, Dasha. Hi, Wes. If anybody wants to join the screen, please feel free. I'm going to do some readings from some recovery literature. It's called The Flip Side, Different Sides of the Same Coin by the Dopeless Fiend. And then I'm going to just read it and then talk about it. And then we can talk about whatever, too. You know, no real rules. I just like to have a plan when I come on here in case nobody shows up. I'm doing good. How's your day, Wes? Hi, Dark Side. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. If you just give me a minute, I'm going to start. I'm going to do a reading from this book. It's called The Flip Side, Different Sides of the Same Coin by a friend of mine. He writes under the title The Dopeless Fiend. Hi, Robbie. Give me just a second, guys. I'm sharing out my live and then we'll get started. Hey.
Hey! How
Okay.
you doing?
Good. Just sharing out the live real quick.
Yeah, you're good. Do your thing. No, don't leave me!
His sister's running off with his truck.
Oh yeah, don't be taking the truck.
No, can't do that. They're crazy. He just now she'll be 2 in February. He'll be 4 in July, so he's about 3.5. And he has like it's one of the metal taco trucks with a bed, and it's a bigger. It's like an old one, and it's a little like a little rusty. It's had some use. It's old, you know what I mean? And then it's got like a boom on the front with and it's got a string that hangs down, and he tows his cars with it. But anyways, he was sitting in the back of it, and my baby, she's about 22 months, is pulling him across the floor. Just they're so freaking cute.
Yes.
Hi everybody, thanks for being here. Lots of people joining.
You turn you.
Oh, so you know our friend Jimmy from the lives yesterday?
Yes.
He reached out last night and said that he would definitely be back, but he didn't know if he would be back today because he's getting chemo treatment. So I told him that I would let everybody, so we could pray for him and stuff. So
Mr. AJ. Okay.
I told him, if he feels good enough, we'd love to have him. If not, we completely
Hey,
understand.
Jerry.
Okay, I think we shared it enough. I'm gonna just start. Okay, I have like 4 or 5 up here. I don't know. I guess we'll just start.
Well, okay. So I have an appointment. Like, I got to go in about 2 minutes till 2 or 2. So
That's
I
fine.
got a couple of minutes here.
That's fine. And like I say, if no one else shows up, we'll just we'll go on. But
And we
anyway,
got Mr. AJ in the
yeah,
house.
AJ, hi. If anybody wants to join the screen, just send a request. As always, this is a community thing. Okay. Voices in my head. Sometimes the loudest voices in our heads aren't from God. They're the voice of regret, of shame, of the things we did. Voices that say you will never change. Nobody's coming for you. You're better off dead. I used to chase numb like it was peace. When prayers don't get answered quickly, it's so easy to give up. Keep going without knowing is the definition of hope. God made my plan have purpose. He salvaged a message inside my mess. Over the deafening chaos, I heard a voice from an unsuspected source. It was loud whisper. It said one word, live. Short, sweet, and to the point. Start living one day at a time instead of dying one day at a time. It was a way out of a storm, a solution, or what I like to call the cure made effective. 2 Corinthians 10:5. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. And then he's got just a little blurb and stuff. It's his connection into the. I love how he does that. He'll tie. Sometimes it's a step connection too, and but I don't know, like that. I guess I've been on stuff like this lately, like about just getting off your ass and doing. You know what I mean? Like it's right. Like live. Like do it. We're only here once, and like that's like my thing. Like I really feel like I've been through so much and I have so much to share, and I need to just freaking do it. Like to just live, you know, to do and what God is clearly like. There's things that make it very clear to me that He wants this. You know, He wants me to do this, and like when people reaching out and asking for help, like how could we not want to continue this? You know what I mean? So I guess that's kind of why I've been on this kick lately. I'm trying to light a fire under my own self, like
Yeah.
like.
So that was powerful. Good read. In my head. So that took me two different places, that reading. First was what it used to be like, and then what it's like now. And what it used to be like for me is I put so much pressure on myself that I thought that the community and my family was putting on me to achieve something great, when really my community and my family just wanted me to exist in a good space, and just be a good human being. And here I am thinking that I have to reach all these great aspirations and like all these next level things because people were saying that I had all this potential, and I put so much pressure on myself to perform that when I fucked up, it was like going down the drop chute. Like there was no like slow decline. It was done because I couldn't go back and face the people that supported me the most, who were saying, "Oh, you're so smart. You have so much ambition, all these things." And for me to be able to go to them and be like, "Yo, dog, I'm fucking up right now." Like instead of just stopping the downward spiral, which the intervention would have changed my life. It was, nope, I'm not going home. I'm going to start couch surfing in places that no person should be thinking about going into. And now we're doing things that, you know, full transparency, you know, breaking and entering, stealing, trying to, because if I don't have a job, I got to put gas in my car. If I'm not, you know, if I'm to get my rugs, I had to find some way.
You know.
Yeah. So the guilt and shame that I carried for the longest time, because I knew I compromised all of my values and all of my morals, really put me into a bad place of just not giving a shit about myself anymore. And therefore, I was always like, well, if I'm not caring about myself, I'm definitely not thinking about how others care about me. Because all it would have taken was me to be like, take me back, please. Say just.
And they would have. That's what I was gonna say. Like it's
Yeah.
so funny because we get in our head and we're like, oh my God, I let them down so bad I can't face them. And really, they just want to help. They're just like, you didn't let me down. Like, it's okay. Most people, especially people that care about us, are very, very understanding about stuff like that. Like, if
Right.
if something was to happen, they just want to, okay, like you fell off, get back up and go again. But in our mind, we're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, they hate us. They had, you know.
It's the worst thing ever. Yeah, I'm glad you can relate to that too. I think a lot of us can. So that's what is the guilt and shame. The voices in my head, you know, were like, and now the word live. So my transformation happened with meditating on the phrase every day, all day long, harm no one. And obviously you can't live a life of harming no one, because eventually you're going to cross paths where someone might be a little miffed or something you said or that you did, because you just can't appease the masses, right?
People are going to disagree, you know.
Right. Like it can just be, well, my values don't match up to your values, and I'm still going to stand behind mine. But I don't know. As long as your
Especially
intention
in
is
like
good.
recovery too, because like I mean, there's so many things. Like some people believe in Matt, some people don't. Some people believe in programs, some people don't. Some people have God as a higher power. You know what I mean? Like it's just so we really have to learn to just accept. You know, and that's hard for me because I've always been very like I'm right. You know what I mean? So I had
Yeah.
to learn. Like I had to learn. Like I'm not freaking always right. People are entitled to whatever they, whatever they want to believe, and that's okay. And we have to be respectful. You know, and that's a big thing.
So I love that we're part of peer recovery support community, and I love that we're part of a community of addicts because those of us who have been through the ringer several times, for me, let me just say, I wish that I was accepted into a MAP program at some point so I could do harm reduction before it got too late. I wish that I didn't have to battle with the program of AANA, and I wish I didn't have the issues hearing God. And I'll tell you what, I respect anybody who has whatever faith that they might, but what helped me the most to find my higher power, which you don't know this, but my higher power is love in its perfect sense. And when I was doing some really deep research into Christianity and the underpinnings of Christianity in our society, Christianity or any other religion is based upon some central themes such as patience, kindness, and above all, chastity, or they say love. And that's why I am now able to have a communication about God, because I think that in essence, God is love. And if
God
I
is love.
choose,
Yes.
and if I choose to think of God as a deity or not, it doesn't matter because it's the love that supports the idea and connection with others. So my higher power, which you now know, is in its perfect sense love, because I, as a human being, cannot reach perfection in love, but I can always strive to be more loving, and that means all the things of just understanding and patience, acceptance, perseverance, determination, pushing through to get to the other side, reaching out, all of those things. So to live for me is to love. And what you were just saying a few minutes ago, before I started my rambling, was to live life to its fullest, right?
Yes.
So I just got done with my first Rotary meeting in Nelsonville, Ohio. And what that means, it's a collection of minds who are kind of like the power behind the power. They are the influence in the community that doesn't get recognition. They're the ones who it's nonprofit work, right? And you actually have to pay dues to be in this club. They're the ones that go out and measure the streets so to make sure that the floats can go through. They're the ones that urge the fire department to put up their Christmas lights. They're the ones who put on the Christmas display with the tree and the Santa stuffing bears. They're the ones who organize like majority of the food and clothing drives in the area. But you see the food and clothing drives going on at the particular organizations that have those drop boxes, but the recognition doesn't fall back on the particular club. They're the ones that are quietly making things happen. And I went in not expecting anything, just not knowing. I was invited to because of the People Project, which we've talked about before, about connecting community members to the underserved. And that was the whole purpose of me being there. But I'm just sitting here like, your insurance and your banking and your mortgages, and you're the owner of this organization, and you're the and I'm hearing them kind of like talk shit to each other, which was kind of cool too, because they've been working with each other for like 20 years. They've been making a difference in the community. And then like they kind of like all collectively just, it was a weird moment, turned to me and was saying, so, hi, James, what are you doing here? And I said, well, I was invited, and not that like they were being abrasive. They were just wanted to know. They were curious. And they gave me that space to talk about the project a little bit, describe who I am, and say, yes, I'm just out of prison at like 5 months ago, and this is all the stuff, and these are all the people, and all the things. I showed my passion and showed my ass a little bit, and they loved it. And next thing you know, like I'm getting handed business cards left and right by this group, and it was so humbling. it was such a warm feeling of once again live life. And I was just talking to Mumsy on the way here. I was like, I could build my entire life of service work and never actually have a paying job, just doing the things within the community that are the right thing, just those humanitarian efforts. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's so surreal too, like when you see people like that, like that you I don't know why it's not working. I'm like getting aggravated with the computer, but like you're like, oh, there were like people there, like bankers and stuff, you know what I mean? And you're like, God, like these are real life people. Like
yes, yes, and they're not pushing their own agenda.
yeah.
Like
Like
they have this statement in the beginning after they say the Pledge of Allegiance that is a community based. We're here to serve others. I didn't know the script. I can't recite it for you now, but it was powerful. It pulled my heartstrings. It was great.
and they and they're out there caring about people and doing the work. Holly said it's great to see us and alive this early in the day. Thanks for being here, Holly.
Yes, Holly, big supporter.
Yeah, I love it. She's always popping in and supporting. I'm gonna start trying to do lives more through the day, so just keep your eye out, and I'll try to remember to send you an invite. It's weird when I try to do it on the computer. When I pop it up, it shows about like 50 people. Then I'll send it, and then when it comes back up, it just shows 50 people again. But sometimes it's the same, and I can't even remember. So I'm like, I think I send it.
Just resend them. Get them here. Just do it. So I'm sorry that I took up that beginning little part, but I do have an appointment. Thanks for inviting me for just a moment. I'm glad I got to share that with you. It was a nice little part of the day. I love that reading. It was fantastic to be able to reflect back to those voices that told me that I can't, and then sit here in this moment and be like, "Fuck that, I am."
Right.
So
You, yeah.
yeah, I showed myself as really what it was, and to allow those people to help. And yes, Jerry, it shows that if you do good, doors will open. I appreciate that. Cool. Holly's taking my place.
I'm so glad you're here. I tried to send you a message earlier and it said your account was restricted, and I was like panicking. I was like, oh my God, she's my supporter. Like, I need her.
No.
Bye, though. Appreciate you. Bye.
Bye. See you later, James.
All right. See you at 7.
Hey.
Bye. Have fun.
No, so I was on another live with my girlfriends, and I completely forgot we were live, so I must have said something off that. Because, I'm thinking we're just BSing, like Messenger, and yeah, I don't know how long it's for or nothing like that.
So what'd you do, make another account? Or
no, what did it say?
They just took away your messaging, or what?
As far as I know, because I get on here.
Huh. Cool.
I mean, I'm here right now, too.
Panicking. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I need her.
Well, I sent you, I think I got a chance to send you to before that all happened, my Facebook stuff.
I don't know. See, I don't know. I didn't have it. Do you want, I'll just
Well, it's just my name like it is on here, Holly Kors.
That's what I was going to do. If you weren't, like, if I didn't see you tonight, I was going to Facebook stalk you.
Yeah, you could have. I wouldn't mind.
Like, man, I need her. That's my girl.
Yeah. So what's going on today?
So I did this reading. If you want, I can read it again. And me and James kind of already talked about it. And I've got some more pulled up behind it, too. So it says, voices in my head. Sometimes the loudest voices in our heads aren't from God. They're the voice of shame of things we did. Voices that say you'll never change. Nobody's coming for you. You're better off dead. I used to chase numb like it was peace. When prayers don't get answered quickly, it's easy to give up. Keeping going without knowing is the definition of hope. God made us have purpose. He salvaged a message inside my mess. Over the deafening chaos, I heard a voice from an unsuspected source. It was barely a whisper. It said one word: live. Short, sweet, and to the point. Start living one day at a time instead of dying one day at a time. It was a way out of the storm, a solution I like to call the cure made effective. So I said, I've just been on stuff like this lately because I'm trying to light a fire under my own self, because I really want to to do more lives and to help people and to tell my story more because I'm really bad. But I know you've seen, like, sometimes I get on here and I really don't say a lot because I don't know, you know, like I don't have the words. You hear me say it all the time, like I don't have the words. Like James and AJ, like they say things beautifully, you know what I mean? And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. But I have to do it. Like I have to live. I really think that God has a purpose for us all and that we experience the things that we did for a reason and that we're supposed to share and help others. And I really believe that. And I have to just do it. Like,
yeah. I mean, I guess you call that fumbling over your own words, right? I know what that's like for sure. But
it'll come naturally for you. It will start to come naturally for you as you start to see more people share their story.
yeah.
Then it'll start to come a little bit more natural to you.
listen, Mr. AJ, me and Miss Girl up there are all natural. So what you talking about? No, I'm just playing.
I believe you.
My husband just said a natural pain in the arse.
yeah.
I try.
Yeah, I know you do.
I gotta keep smiles on people's faces.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I just
fun.
got back from the dentist, so.
Oh,
But no, I had to get my teeth aligned because they were. Cause, I'm doing the whole, the self care of me right now
yes.
with my health, and because my teeth were just starting. I found out I had really bad gum disease that I didn't know I had, and so the dentist was like, we're just gonna take all your teeth, and well, they pulled them 2 days before Thanksgiving, and yeah, so I just went and got them realigned, but I came home and took them right out because I'm just like, yeah, there's still a few sores and they're not healed up all the way.
Well, I'm
So-
super proud of you because you are still, I mean, like, you're fairly early in recovery, but you are like, you're in, like, that's the important stuff. Like, do the self-care, like, focus on yourself a little bit. We got to be selfish, you know what I mean? And take care of you. And then,
Yeah.
like, you will get better. If you do the work and the mental stuff, like, that's one of the biggest things that people don't understand. Like, just stopping the substance, that's not, like, it's not a magic cure. You have to do the work and in the self-care and take care of yourself and have that selfishness, or else, like, you're going to repeat the cycle if you don't. So I'm super proud of you.
Thank you. And, I'm proud of you for as long as you have stayed clean and sober. But, I look at it this way. To want something so bad enough that you can, like, taste it, that's what it's like for me now. And they say, I just had something in my head, so don't mind me.
No, go ahead.
But, yeah, you just gotta, you don't let nobody or nothing work you. You work them.
Yep.
So that's, yeah. And me, I'm something else, let me tell you, girl.
Yeah, all your personalities too.
Yeah, my husband said all my personalities too.
It's okay.
It's
My
okay.
husband says I'm crazy too. The other day we were talking about about our strengths or whatever, and I said something, and then my husband was like in the kitchen. I could see him, and he was like, and I was like, yeah, that I'm crazy.
Yeah, or my husband will say, so what personality am I dealing with today?
Yeah.
Number
Notice
what?
the name feral but sober. There's a reason.
Yeah, right. That's but yeah, like I feel like if the person doesn't work it, then what are they doing? You can't expect people to do all the work for you or the program to do the work for you. So that's why I always stress out. You have to want it bad enough. You have to work the program the best to your knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
But the burden of change is on you. The burden of change is going to be on you,
Yeah.
not anybody else.
Right. That's why I said that we as ourselves, I have to work the program the way I know that's going to suit me.
Yeah,
Just
and what
like-
works for you. Like, you
Yep.
can't let
Yes.
other people say, oh, that's not how you do it. Or, like, if you're on MAP, people say, oh, you're not. So you can't let people say that stuff to you. You can't let it get to you if they do. Like, you have to, like, recovery is a tailored process, like, to you, unique, whatever you want to say, like, very individualized. So,
Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong or a right. It's to everybody's discretion on how, when they do anything, So, I mean, that's the way I've been looking at it. because, like I said, my day is July 21st of this year, and yeah, I've had, because I had 3 kids, and I went 2 years each time without doing anything, but something always drew me back. Like, I don't know if it was my husband, because he's such an amazing man that he loves me unconditionally. He's had to do the things he's had to do to me, like, so I still call him my husband. We were married, but we got a divorce in August. This is why I just got home from rehab, but he had to do it for a reason. And it's not like we're not gonna. I mean, we're still together. We're still here at the home. We're you don't really need a piece of paper, but I'd like to eventually get remarried. So I'm working on building everything up to that again. You know what I'm saying? So it's I'm setting like little goals that I know I can accomplish. Because look, if I set myself up for failure, it's gonna because see, I was an emotional user.
Yes.
I would, over my kids, over losing anybody in my life, or if I got rage mad. And that's why I mostly used. And my real father's an alcoholic, and I have nothing to do with him. I haven't talked to him in, my daughter's 20, so 19 and a half years. So, like, but that was my reason of using, and I just feel, I don't know, like you, I have a lot I know I could put out there and help everybody.
Yes.
And it feels good just,
If you're over, looks like you're over 120 days or so.
Yes.
Good. That in treatment circles inside the setting when I was working there, we would say the snowball is starting to roll downhill, meaning that now the heavy lifting you've already done. Now it's just a matter of just maintaining.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, like the pink cloud effect.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with like the facilitators at the rehabs, like how, I don't know, this was my third one. The first 2 I went to was the same one, and I didn't like it. I don't know why I went back. I guess to get out of trouble, basically. But this one, it's rated like one of the top 5. I'll have to look it up and let you know, but it's called Bear River here in Michigan. And they come pick anybody up in this whole entire state. They'll come pick them up, bring them up there, make sure they get home as long as they accomplish the program. The only thing I did not like was the medical part when you got to the facility. And I get it from both perspectives. But why would you say, well, you didn't care about yourself out there, so why should we care about you in here?
What?
Yeah.
Oh no.
That was the only.
That's not cool, man. Like, people don't understand. Like, when we're out there, no, we don't care about ourselves. But it's like, and it's because we don't care about nothing else. I wish Josh or James were here with the facts. Like, I know Josh knows them like hard. Like, it's something like our bodies, our baseline is naturally lower than normal, or AJ probably knows what I'm talking about, and then like once we use it, just like it takes away our ability to say no pretty much, because our body is like, oh my god, that's what I've been wanting this whole time, like I've been lacking something your body's supposed to have, and then we don't we naturally don't have it, and then the drugs give it to us, and we're like, oh shit, like, and
yeah,
like, nothing else
it
matters.
fills a void.
Yeah, and nothing else matters. Not my health, not your kids, not your house, your job, your car, your mama. Nobody matters. Nothing. Like, dude, I literally would have like abscesses and teeth rotting out, and did not. I know when I actually was pregnant, and I ended up I had my oldest daughter in prison, and like when I went, they were like, well, when's the last time you seen the doctor? And I was like, Like before I got pregnant, I have no idea. Like, I don't know, when I was 16 or something. Like,
Something like that.
like.
Yeah, it's just
You
like,
know, we used to have to educate people on how a substance works in your body. And so one of the things that we used to teach, what I used to teach to them, was that the chemical, the toxic chemical that you're putting in your body is releasing a chemical in your brain. And the chemical is dopamine. And it's a pleasure. That's the pleasure center of your brain. And our body naturally releases this chemical, generally when we get good news, when we're going to eat our favorite food, when we're going to do something exciting. It's a natural chemical. You know, have you ever heard the expression runner's high? When they say if runners who do marathon runs, they say usually there's about a 4 or 5 mile stretch where they feel like they're running on clouds. They feel no pain. And that's just their body releasing dopamine.
like an adrenaline junkie.
I didn't
Yes, it's
know
like,
that.
yes.
I know,
And
like,
so what ends up
I do
happening,
work out and exercise. Like, normally I haven't been lately. Like I said, I got in a car wreck a couple months ago, but like, and that was like one of my things that helped me in my and so that makes a lot of sense,
yes. So what happens is where, substance, especially stimulants and other types of substances come into play is they release more of the dopamine than we get from natural pleasures. So when you're describing, I didn't care if this happened or I had this or something, that's the dopamine being released. And so what happens is your brain automatically knows when you use a substance for the first time, it's so intense. So your brain automatically says, I'm not supposed to do that. So the next time you use, it doesn't release as much. But it still releases more than you would get from some of the natural pleasures. So that's why it's hard for people who are in that state to just stop and say, you know what, I'm going to stop doing it, this, that, and the other, because they're not getting a dopamine release like they would by doing other things, such as other natural pleasures.
And that's
And
why
so
we
that's
use
where it
more
gets a
and
little
more
tricky.
too. Is that correct?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, well, what happens is when your brain shuts down how much dopamine it's going to release, because we don't realize this, but the universe designed our bodies. It had a feeling that we were going to do things to harm ourselves. So what happens is the brain is trying to save your life. So it's saying, I know I'm not supposed to release this much. So the next time this person uses, I'm going to release less. And I'm going to release less. And that's why you want to use more, because you're trying to get back to that point you were when you first used. And so the brain is releasing less of it so that you kind of will stop. But once you become addicted, you want to use more. So that's where that's when they say chasing the high comes from.
Yeah,
Because you're
AJ,
trying
but
to.
doesn't the body get to a certain point? Okay, because I had 26 years of substance.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so doesn't it at some point the body gets, I guess, immune to it, to where it doesn't matter if it's up or down with it?
That's a good question. Yeah. What the answer is a little tricky. Your body will get to a point where, like, if you're using a physically dependent drug or substance, physically dependent, after a while, you're not using it for the dopamine release. You're using it to not get sick. So what'll end up happening is you're just using it so you don't feel pain. Because if you don't, that's when you'll start to have the side effects. So it's a tricky situation. Your body is going to shut down how much it's going to release because it knows that it's not supposed to release that much. And so that's why I say I can't think of the phrase I would use for this, but it's like a dog chasing after its tail. You're going to be kind of stuck, when you're in that situation of that transition. But one thing we would say in treatment, the distance between recovery and having a successful recovery is about 18 inches. We say that's the distance between your head and your heart. Those two things have to connect. If one is not in the line with the other, it's going to be very easy for you to make an excuse or state a reason why you don't want to, or this isn't working, or I don't like this place, or it's those two things have to connect. They have to be in sequence with each other in order for you to have a successful recovery. If they're not, it's going to be very difficult, because a lot of times we like to do things our own way. So we live in a society where there's a lot of chaos and excitement, and we believe that that's the way things are supposed to be, but they're not. They're meant to be very mundane and boring, but if something is mundane and boring, we think we're doing something wrong. So we think, oh, I got to do this and do that. This is taking too long. And so one thing I would tell people is, I use the example of the bamboo tree, and I would say that a bamboo tree grows underneath the ground for years, but it's only growing about 3 or 4 inches in the course of those years. And then one day it starts to grow really fast, and it can grow up to 90 feet in 6 weeks. So it's like one of those things where the boring stuff, that the hard work we're putting in doesn't seem like it's working. But when it does start working, we start to see the changes. We start to get better relatively quickly. That's why I say we go over that. Once when the snowball starts rolling downhill, treatment becomes, recovery becomes a lot easier for us because the momentum is on our side.
Yeah, I really don't there's certain, if I have my off days or whatever, and that's when people get to me, you know what I mean? But other than that, I just really don't give two rats. But, my medicine for so many years, 'cause I'm bipolar and all sorts of stuff, I felt like my body got immune to it for so long that it just wasn't working anymore. And I'll be honest, with my addiction, I gotta say, the least past 10 years, I went to using almost every day. And so, I couldn't ever tell if I was on cloud 57 or cloud 9, you know what I mean? It all felt like that dog chasing that tail. Let me tell you, there was quite a few times where I caught my own tail. So, there's Josh.
Yeah.
Hey.
What's up,
I
Josh?
just read
What up?
Voices in My Head, and we talked about that for a little bit, and so we was all, bye, AJ.
Bye, AJ.
And so this was the one I was going to do next, but he just popped on out. He must have had to go.
What did you say about it?
I said the voices in my head. I said that I just been on a kick about that lately. Living life and doing what God has put on our heart to do. I guess I'm trying to spark a fire under my own ass and get because I definitely want to do more lives. I definitely your book, dude. I have so much faith in your book. I talk about it all the time. It helps me so much, and I just I want to share it with people so badly, and I just keep not doing it, and stuff like that. And God has put it on my heart over and over again. Where it's clear to me that that's what he wants me to do, and I just keep not living and not doing what he wants, and I'm pretty far in recovery wise, but not really, sober I am, but not recovery, you know what I mean?
I do. Yep.
Well, just as long as you don't pass gas and blow yourself up. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I gotta stop being such a jokester.
You're fine.
I
What
know.
page is Voices in My Head on?
Hold on. It is page. Oh, I cut the page number out. Hold on, I have to find it in the book.
Did your books come?
No, I don't know. I haven't checked my mail yet today.
Oh.
Babe, go check the mail.
There you go.
Please.
Pronto.
I'm excited now.
That would be cool if it came when we were on live. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be so cool. If I was on my phone, I would walk out there, but I'm on the laptop. I don't even know where he is. Baby. Will you walk out and check the mail, please?
Babe, I want to check out about Josh's. Josh, are your books on Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one.
Okay. Oh, yeah, the other side. Okay. I'll look on Amazon. See
The hardback looks different, but you know what I mean? The hardback's too much money. No one get the hardback. It is. It's like it costs more to make those things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, read another one. I'm here now.
Okay, hold on. I was trying to find that page. I don't know. Oh, it's on page 31.
Oh, it's right there.
Okay, but I'm going to read now. Boundaries break down in the battle within.
Okay.
No, they didn't come. Just the water bill. Blech. To my kids, I did everything wrong, but at the time, I thought I was doing it for the right reasons. I tried to help everyone, tried to carry people on my back when I could barely carry myself. In the end, I didn't just lose my footing, I helped myself right back into a relapse. See, the people I was trying to help weren't toxic people, but they were toxic to me, not because of who they were, but because of who I wasn't. I didn't have boundaries. I didn't know how to say no without feeling guilty. I confused enabling with love. I called it compassion, but it was codependency wrapped in denial. See, when I take inventory, real inventory, I don't look at their stuff. I look at mine, my part, my patterns, my inability to set boundaries because I was trying to earn love or feel needed. And that's when I realized the only crack the devil needs is the one inside me. The disease is cunning. It will use our good intentions against us. It will keep us from telling ourselves hard truths. It will make self-neglect look noble. It will make a burnout feel like sacrifice. And before you know it, you are running on empty, spiritually dead, and too drained to even call for help. That's when I had to learn hard truth. I had to live selfishly. To live selfishly is not a luxury normal folks might afford, but not us. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Hold on. Let me do that again. That's when I had to learn a hard truth. To live selfishly is a luxury normal folks might afford, but not us. Not the ones with the disease of more. Not the ones who are restless, irritable, and discontent. Unless we are spiritually fit. Not the ones who know what it's like to shake in our skin when the silence gets loud. The devil stays undefeated at the game when I play it on my own. But here's the good news. I don't have to play it anymore. I pick up spiritual tools. I work the steps. I create boundaries, not walls, but guardrails. I learn to love without losing myself. Why do I feel like there should be more? Maybe did I cut too much off?
Because helping others starts with being spiritually healthy myself. That's not selfish. That's survival. Proverbs 25:28. Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. When our internal boundaries break down, when discipline, spiritual safeguards, or emotional barriers collapse, we become vulnerable to attacks from within and without. The real battle isn't just with the outside world; it's with what we allow inside.
Thanks. I bet I couldn't get it all in the when I took the screenshot, but yeah, I love the part. I like the part where you tie in God and the steps and all that. Like that's like my favorite part. Like,
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If I ever make it big, I'm gonna hook you up so fat, man.
It's funny too because just a few minutes ago I said I wish Josh or James was here with the. I don't even remember what I was trying to say, but I was like, they would have the words, and then you popped in.
Yeah, we done drug tested everybody. Me and my buddies just down here, so we're just waiting until 3:00 so we can leave.
I want to shout out real quick to Buddy Stone if you're still in here. Bub, he said he's 41 months sober. Congratulations. Yep. Looks like he might already be gone, but shout out to you, buddy. I'm gonna give him a message. He messaged and I didn't see it, but yeah, I don't know, but boundaries, like I did a live last night, on boundaries because I think they're so freaking important, and I'm learning, more, I guess. I'm struggling. I guess I've been thinking a lot, like now that I'm getting more active in recovery and stuff about like my family and my mom and how like, I don't have contact with her but then she's reaching out. She's in a rehab right now, but man, and I don't know, like I struggle, like I said it last night, like I struggle between, I want people to give me grace and forgiveness, so like I should give it to her, and then like the other side of me is like, man, but this and this and this, and there's a lot there to unpack, definitely, and I don't know, and I feel like on one side of my head I'm like, man, I've been clean for so long, and maybe if she's clean, maybe it's time to unpack some of it, but then I'm like, man, that brings up so much, like
Oh,
But
I feel you. Because I think, they say we have to forgive, and able to, like, you have to release and just, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but whatever happened there, like, 'cause I have a see you next Tuesday kind of mom.
Yeah. Me too. Me
And,
too.
yeah. And, it's hard because, like, when I got home, dude, like, I never knew that my mom was a user. She never told me. And I'm 47. She was using when she was 17 years old. And she's just now telling me this. Like, she only used for 6 months and quit and stuff. But we were sitting there having a whole conversation. Look, that was a very good conversation. But when she's getting in her see you next Tuesday or Thursday days, I have to just, I'll stop talking to her.
Yes.
And I have to think about, okay, look, she's going to get me to that level again. And it's going to trigger me to do something stupid. And I'm not going to allow it.
And I've said before, my emotions and shit, that's my, that's my weakness. That's my triggers. Like, and I know that. So I'm very leery. Like, and my mom, and it's like every time that I talk to her, like, it's poor me. And I'm like, I'm at the stage in my life where I'm like, your life is bad because of the choices that you're making. And she ain't trying to hear that shit. And I try to be nice about it. She's my mom, man, and I love her. And I do respect my mother. Like, I believe that we're supposed to, you know what I mean? And I try.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, I'm like, man, when you want to call me, and I'm like, she called me, I was like getting ready to have my baby, about to go on maternity leave, struggling, this and that and this and that. And I'm like going through it. And she's like, oh, my life's so bad because of the, my house is a trap pretty much. And I've allowed it to become that. And I don't know, you know what I mean? And I'm like, man,
Yeah.
you did it. Like, I don't know, and then, but she ain't trying to hear help either. Like, I've tried that route. Like, oh, come down here and live with me, and or not, stay with me. We'll get you an apartment because she gets Social Security check. I'm like, you can move down here, move away from it and stuff, and blah blah blah, and we'll get you set up. If you need to get into a mat doctor, whatever, like whatever. We like come down here and I'll help you out. She ain't trying to hear that. Like, so then if you don't want help and you don't want to hear like the truth, then what do you want me to say to you? I'm not gonna sit here and
lie to you.
Yeah, and like and coddle you and say, "Oh, poor baby, your life's so bad because you're letting a bunch of stuff go on at your house that you should, and then you're whining, my stuff's getting stolen. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, but that you should. Well,
oh no, you're fine.
Stolen and things are terrible, and I'm like, well, man, like, lock your door. I don't, keep them out. Say no, like, say bye.
Yeah, like they don't like to hear the truth when it's coming from, when roles are reversed. And look, if you can't say it how it is, then what's the point of saying anything at all sometimes, But I'm brutally honest. I've been like that. Even in my addiction I was, though. Like, I didn't go around stealing from all these people. They always stole from me. And look, I would be the one out there collecting cans just to get by for the day. You know what I'm saying? And they all want, they all have a place to lay their heads at night, and I had nowhere to go. They would take my food stamps. Oh man. And so, like, this time when I went up north, I was like, you know what? I'm deleting everybody's numbers. I'm getting rid of and I did that. So when I got out, I had no messages, no nothing. And I'm like, yes, finally, peace and quiet, So, like, yeah, I don't care if people think I'm a bitch or not, because look, I love being a bitch. To the right ones, I can.
Sometimes we have to be, you know what I mean? Not necessarily a bitch, but like stern and boundaries, dude. That's what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That we have
but
to.
My whole thing is, why is it okay for parents or whoever to show us addicts hard love or whatever it's called, But then when the roles are reversed, we can't do it back to them as the kids.
Right. Yeah. Like if it was.
That's how it sort of sounds like what you're saying with your mom.
Yeah, if she was my child, then people would be on here saying, let her hit rock bottom, blah, 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 which, I think is crap anyways. I think, we should support people where they're at. But I'm just saying, that's what people would be saying.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. But now that it's my mom, people are like, oh, you should forgive her and reconnect. And man, I would love that, but it's dangerous for me. And I know that. And so, I have to figure out I don't even know if that will ever be a possible. I mean, forgive her, yes, and love her from a distance, but to actively be a part of her life, it would take a lot, and I'm not saying impossible, but
she has to be clean and sober for you. You have a family, baby.
Yeah, I have babies.
You have never seen that life, and
I don't want them to, and I have to protect them. And I love my mom. I love her so much, even through all the shit, but there's a lot of shit,
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we gotta love people from a distance.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Give them that forgiveness so that they can I forgive you, but I can't,
See, I have a hard time with the forgetting part. Forgive and forget. That's engraved in my brain, what I have left. So, but I just don't talk about it anymore, especially when I'm around my mom. Because, that's what I was saying about, I can't remember what live I was in, about the journaling. Okay, it's all good and fine and dandy to write your journals, but make sure you put them somewhere where none of your friends, nobody's going to find them. Because my mom took my journals, dude, read them, and used them against me.
Not cool.
Dang.
Yeah.
Or you can just publish them.
Yeah.
And
No.
We'll see.
They just put them out there online for everybody.
No, not.
No.
Because listen, I was even more of a bitch in those things.
Josh said full transparency, huh?
Yeah, well, I had this 70-year-old lady message me from Indiana. She read my books, and she's a sweet old lady. She goes, and she is not one of us really at all. She has a son that is, and so she read my books to help with that, I guess. But she's like, I really, and she messaged me every day with some kind of Bible verse, and she's like, you're really brave. The stuff that you put in there, I couldn't tell it on it. I would tell, and she's like, and I don't want to tell all my friends that I'm friends with the dopeless fiend. So I was like, my name is Josh. She was like, okay. So she's sweet, but she's fun.
Cute. I love it. She's like, I don't want to say that to my friend, at the bingo hall or something. I don't want to. That's cute. I love that. I love it that she read them to understand her son better too. I have a friend of mine. She is a counselor, but she's not in recovery, and she goes to meetings with another friend of ours that is in recovery, and she'll go with her, obviously to support her, but also to learn, to hear things so she can better understand her clients. And I think that's amazing, to go out of her way and to go to these meetings when she, she's not in recovery at all. And yeah, she is sometimes going to support her other friend, but she also does learn things. And, and I think that's awesome to put in that much work to be able to understand the people because she cares,
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody's journey is different, There's tactics, there's all sorts of things to everybody's. One thing might work for somebody that didn't work for this person, you want to cover all your bases when you're going through that, It's better to be wise than not, know what you're talking about when you go into something. At least that's how I feel. Because I don't want to look like no idiot.
No, I hate to look stupid.
Yeah.
I won't.
I'm pretty good at looking stupid. I kind of like looking stupid.
Not me.
Get out of here, that bullshit.
I'll be Googling facts and stuff and be coming prepared. I hate to, I'm like, I'll say it. If I don't know, I'll be like, man, I don't know. I'll have to research it. And I will. I like to know stuff, though. If someone brings up a topic or something that I don't really know about, it doesn't matter if I don't even care about the topic. I will go and just because I like to know, I like to know stuff.
Yeah.
Do you go to Alexa?
No, no, I have Copilot.
No, so I have a 12-year-old that's autistic, and he doesn't know I'm his mom because, like I told you, I don't have my youngest with me because I made the choice of asking my parents to please take him because from place to place and being beaten and stuff. I wanted to do what was right. He was, just born. I signed him over when he was a year old, but found out he was autistic throughout the years. I was hardly in his life for the past 11 years because of my addiction. And I forgot where I was going with this. Look, I got brain farts already. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
I can't
Talking about
stand
your
this shit.
son. You said your autistic son. I don't know where you were going, but I was listening.
I don't either. I just completely forgot you. Wow.
Hey, I do
One
that
day
all
at
the
a time.
time.
One day at a time. What's your name? I don't want to call you one
Ken.
day.
Ken, yeah.
Ken. Ken. All right.
He's over there like giggling.
You should
I'm just
read
listening to the diatribe go on about the different things. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
should
you
read
Yeah.
Voices in My Head for Ken to listen and let's get his thoughts on it.
On the
I was listening to y'all talk about forgiveness, and one of the things is forgiveness isn't for the other person. Forgiveness actually frees me. Now, reconciliation and restoration are two totally different things. So boundaries are okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I can forgive someone and still not have them as a part of my close circle. And I've been in recovery for a while, so it's my anonymity I gave up a long time ago. I'm not real worried about what people think about me anymore. And I mean, Josh, you've written about your stuff. I've written about my stuff. I do presentations around the country, and so I'm used to talking about my issues. And the one thing I can tell you, just from my experience about it, is once I've given up my anonymity and I've shared the stuff, I can share pretty much anything that happened. I mean, I try not to be overly transparent just for the sake of sharing, but it loses its power. I know the things that I'm afraid to share are the things that still have power over me. And once I get to the place that I can share, my history, I can share the things about my sexual abuse, I can share the things about my addiction, and some of even the war stories of the things that I did while I was in my addiction, I get the opportunity to help somebody else.
yes.
And that's really, I think that's kind of what the calling is for being in recovery, is to get to the place to where it's not just about me anymore. I think everybody kind of comes into recovery in their own hole, whatever that is, no matter how deep it is, with their hand looking for somebody to help lift them out of that hole. And at some point you realize you got two hands. You got a hand to reach down and help somebody else out while you're trying to have somebody help you out. And that's why I think this recovery process works with people. It doesn't, I can't do it. I've never been able to do it alone because I'm the smartest guy in the room. And that's the worst position because you can't hear anything.
Amen. Hey, I want to read you something. What you just said is crazy. I just read it to my buddy. It's page 119, Leanne, but it's mixed messages. Just because I'm at a meeting doesn't mean I need to speak every time. Some stories are sacred, some wounds are still healing, and sometimes silence speaks louder than recycled war stories. I used to think I had to tell my God save me moment every time I open my mouth. But the truth is, if I keep pouring out the same story over and over, it starts to lose its flavor. It gets watered down, too much cut, not enough raw. Eventually, it becomes performance instead of testimony. I lived through hell, and God pulled me out. That deserves more than repetition. It deserves reverence. I don't want to cheapen what he did by tossing it around every time I crave validation. I learned to check my motives before I speak. Am I trying to serve or just be seen? That's why sometimes I just sit back and shut up and serve. I refill the coffee pot. I clean up the chairs. I stay afterward and check on the quiet ones because Jesus didn't say the loudest one wins. He said the last shall be first and the servant of all is the greatest in the kingdom. Mark 9:35. Anyone who wants to be first must be very last and the servant of all. The water boy may not be on the field, but in the kingdom, that's the real MVP.
That's good stuff, Josh.
You just said it, bro.
You're taking it right out of the book of Mark, and if you take that chapter a little bit deeper, that whole saying came out of the disciples were walking behind him, and they were trying to decide who was the most important. Who's the chief disciple, and that was his response to them.
Yeah.
For me, I practice holding thoughts captive, and I suck at it. But holding it captive to listen to what somebody else has to say, if I'm the one that's talking all the time, I'm not hearing.
Amen.
You know, and I'll lose my perspective on other people's recovery if I'm just talking about me. You know, just from a 12-step background, you know, people say we share our experience, we share our strength, and we share our hope. I've written lots of different testimonies over the years now, and they change pretty much periodically, but mostly today it's because of the last part of it, not because of the first part. I can share my experience in a sentence. You know, I'm a lying, cheating, you know, addict that did all these things, broke 9 of the 10 commandments. I didn't kill anybody, so you know which 9 I broke. And I don't have to go into a great deal of detail about that anymore. But what I can share is my strength and my hope. And what's happened is my testimony's changed. I can share the experience, but it's like the shortest part of my testimony now. The hope part and what God continues to do in my recovery and the growth. Because I'm a big believer that if you're not growing towards something, you're falling away from it. My sponsor told me the only way to pick up speed in recovery when you're coasting is to aim downhill. And you know, so I'm either growing towards something better or I'm falling away from it.
Amen. Leanne,
I like to joke about stuff. That helps me get through it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can joke about all of it now. Some of it used to make me cry.
You could just throw me right down the hill. I got plenty of pledges. I'm a perfect ball. Sorry.
I know when I first got sober, like I'll be a year in, my sponsor looked at me and said, "Man, you just share to be seen, not heard." I said, "Do what?" And he was right. Like if there was a pretty girl at the meeting, I'm like, I gotta speak, man. She gotta notice me. Or if there's a guy I looked up to at the meeting, I was like, well, I gotta tell him how good my recovery is with my words and not my actions. You know what I mean? And so, yeah,
I was keeping most of my stuff really close to the chest because I mean I'm a corporate embezzler. I had all this stuff that I was going to take to my grave. Yeah. And so I don't think for the first 3 years in recovery that I shared authentically. I was honest, but I don't know that I was authentic in my sharing.
Yeah.
And today I really just want to be authentic. I mean, I don't want to present a picture. I just want to present. And it's not about me. I certainly don't want to receive any glory for it. I'm not proud of my past. But neither do I live in shame, guilt, and remorse of it anymore because God's just kind of used that to turn it into a gift to help other people.
Amen. Absolutely. Yeah, God gets all the credit.
Yeah, and I think you said it perfectly. Like we have to, I think sharing our story and stuff is very important, but we have to be careful. Like
you can go, bro.
Like you said exactly, like your reasons and stuff. Like, and I struggle sometimes. Like I never know the right things to say. Like I guess that's why I like hesitate to talk sometimes because I'm like, man, I don't. And we have to get over that. Like just because something like I don't know, like I'm always afraid that like what I'm gonna say isn't like what you guys. I don't know, like it's not you guys are gonna think I'm stupid. Not you guys specifically, anybody, but yeah. And that's just I have to work through that and get over that. And we have to learn that I just have to do it too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, one of the ladies when I was at the Bay Area Club down near Galveston, Texas, when I first was getting sober, I remember sitting in meetings trying to think of what I was going to say in response to what other people were sharing. Yeah. Some clever quip or or just something that was on topic maybe even. And I spent a lot of time thinking about what I was going to say instead of just saying. And a really good friend of mine, she came up to me and said, anytime I'm thinking that hard about what I need to say, I'm probably about to lie to you.
Amen. Oh. It becomes performance instead of testimony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like me in my first year, I want to be seen. I don't care if I'm heard. I just want to be seen, look what I've done, instead of this is what God's done for me. Yep. I can't take credit.
There was another guy in that early group that I went to. His name was Chris, and he'd been in recovery for 18 years. And he had never managed to keep more than 6 months of sobriety in those 18 years. And I remember sharing, I didn't know him very well at the time. I was pretty new myself. And so I remember the third step prayer was one I just clung to early in recovery about relieve me of the bondage of self. Let my victories be a demonstration to other people of your power, your love, and your way of life. And I made this really offhanded comment in the meeting about, I'm so grateful God's relieved me of the bondage of self. And he came up to me at the meeting. He says, Ken, you have no idea what the bondage of self is. And I've hung on to that from year one. So
That's good. Seed was planted. I love the seeds, you know. It's planted like that. Those are the best kind of lessons.
I think one of the ones I had up was about sowing a seed. Hold on. Let me see. Yep, right here. See,
All right.
God is good. He shows up, don't he? That was the next one on the list. It says fertility. Rock bottom wasn't the end of my story. It was the soil God used to grow my roots. He sent me down and quieted the chaos. If you ever made your bed in the grips of hell, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know how it feels to be spiritually dead. That's when God set me down, and then the words started appearing on paper. God was leaking the truth through my pen, one broken sentence at a time. I wasn't trying to be deep. I wasn't trying to write no book. I was just trying not to get high, trying to make it all make sense, trying to outrun the demons that used to sing me lullabies in the needle's whisper. I was trying to put all my pain on paper so maybe I wouldn't feel it anymore. So if you're seeing me scribbling in a notebook, no, I'm not just journaling. I'm surviving. I'm surrendering. I'm letting the Most High speak through an old dope fiend that he refused to give up on. I made peace with the pain so you can too. There is a way out. Let me show you. Jeremiah 1:9. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. This verse captures the raw and sacred moment where God uses someone flawed, hesitant, or broken to speak his truth, just like my pen pouring out his message one cracked line at a time. Love it.
Amen.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, like, you know, for Josh, it is his writing, but, like, you know, it's not like God wants everybody to share their message in like a unique way, and it might not even be sharing, like it might not be sharing to the public. It might just be helping people, you know, maybe you're a counselor and you just help your clients, or a peer supporter, or I don't know, just a friend that you know, you're reaching out and helping others, or maybe you help the homeless, or like whatever. Like everybody has their thing that God has, like, you know, that he want their way of service, I guess, what he has put in their path is what I'm trying to say. And I think it's important to try to find it, because he definitely wants us like to share and find our, you know, like alternate high, like, you know, I don't know if it was AJ earlier was talking about like runner's high and stuff. Like I think when we find something that we love and we're passionate enough, it gives us that dopamine and stuff that we're craving, like being high, you know. And I think it's important to try to find that, not only for that, not only for ourselves, but because I think that's what God wants. That's, you know, that's his purpose. I wholeheartedly believe that, like, especially Josh, he had a page that really made me believe that, like, we went through what we went through for a reason, that he has a purpose, because he wants us to help others, because addiction is a disease and it hurts people. And I don't know, I think he chose us for a reason.
I do. Yeah. And Jeremiah's probably one of my favorite. I love the Old Testament. You know what I mean? It's like wrath and fire and brimstone. It's so much recovery and message of hope and restoration in the Old Testament. You know, not that there ain't in the New Testament, but it's just a little different.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't get me talking about biblical Old Testament and New Testament. Y'all get a pastor talking for 30 minutes. But I love the book of Jeremiah. I love the prophet, and Isaiah is another one of my favorites. Actually, my favorite Old Testament book, though, is the book of Ruth.
I just read that the other day. Yeah.
And Ruth is such a great chapter because, I mean, if you know the story, and some of y'all may not, Naomi is Ruth's mother-in-law. And they moved from Israel to Moab with her husband and her two sons. And Ruth married one of her sons, and her husband died. And then both of her boys died. And she was like, you girls need to go back to your homes, and you need to find another new husbands. Because, you know, normally in the Old Testament, you'd marry one of the younger sons to, if one of them died, the wife, they'd take care of the other woman. And the Ruth refused to go home. She said, where you go, I'm going to go. And she was just really loyal to Naomi. And the beauty of the story, though, really comes once they get back, is that Naomi basically introduces her to Boaz, who she's gleaning the leftovers from his field. And Boaz becomes her redeemer and ends up marrying her. and they end up in the lineage of Christ. And so it's just a great story. And Ruth is the end of the book of Judges, really. And if you read Old Testament, the book of Judges are really just a bunch of horrible leaders of Israel. And Ruth is like the redeeming story of it. And it talks, and so these people they aren't Jewish, Ruth was a Moabite. And so she ends up in the Christian lineage. It just says that we were all part of this. And that's as a believer, and not everybody is a believer, I get that. But as a believer, it just gives me so much hope that somebody that can be from the outside can be brought back in. And from a recovery stance, I was on the outside for so long. To be brought back in and get to do what I do today, not that I get to do what I do today. I mean, that's kind of it's not that I have to do or I even want to, I get to. And I love being able to do that. It's the joy that you were talking about earlier of finding each individual ones. As a Christian, mine is a God-shaped whole. And I get my joy when I fill it with him and then serving the purpose that he's got planned for me. And I know what my gifts are. Not everybody knows what their gifts are, but I'm just in the little bit I've gotten to know you guys, just in 2 days, I guess, I see the gifts that he's restoring it, and the dopamine that you're talking about replaced. When I'm serving in my gift, I never get more joy or hope or fulfillment. It's not that I can't serve outside of my gift, but when I'm serving in the thing that God gave me, which, I'll just share it with y'all. My primary gift is exhortation, which is a fancy word for an encourager. I love watching people get it. It's my favorite thing to sit down with newcomers and watch the light turn on in their eyes. It's just, it makes me want to stay late at meetings and have the meeting after the meeting.
Amen. That's definitely Leanne's gift too. And I think mine too, but I'm humble. I never like to talk about myself. You know what I mean?
It's God's gift. I just get to use it.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, because I think we can all learn from each other's experiences, take from what one person passes on to another. That's what I like to hear everybody's story and then take something from that and pass it down the line.
Yeah, and you said something earlier, like tell people, the smartest man in the room knows he's not the smartest man in the room, and if you think you're smarter than anybody, then you're dumber. You know what I mean? Like, you never know what God's going to, everybody that God used in the Bible is not people you would think. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what kind of message you're going to get if you just keep an open mind and go into everything like, instead of saying, oh my God, it's this person, or I always say, what's God trying to show me?
Yep. That's right.
Yeah,
like
nobody likes to know it all.
God works through no one likes to know it all. Absolutely. And it's funny too, because in my addiction, I was the smartest person. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was smarter than everybody. And, I dropped out. I never went a day of high school, man, but I know it all. But God really does work through the broken, like you said. It's the people that you would least expect. Like, you'll meet somebody and they they might seem like a quote unquote nobody, but then they'll change your freaking life, And it's
Amen.
so surreal. Like, God, he that's what he does. He loves the broken and the forgotten and the outcast, and that's what he's about. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, the beauty of it is he only uses broken people because that's all he's got to work with.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're all broken.
If you're not broken, you're not really listening for God.
Yeah. If you can't admit that, because everybody has work to do. I don't care if you're the most put together normal person in the world. You still can. Everybody has work. Everybody has flaws and whatever. And if you think that you don't, then you need to maybe take a look, because
I'm still waiting for somebody to define what normal is.
Yeah, I would too.
Right.
I don't know the definition of that.
Yeah. But
I haven't seen it yet.
No.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Everybody can grow. Everybody has growth that can,
Or-
potential for
Or at
growth.
least see whose pictures by that, when you look up the word normal. How many people's pictures there?
Yeah. And I think I say this in my book is, a great voice was heard from an unexpected source, because God has a sense of humor. He'll use the most unlikely person to relay his message. You know, I think sometimes he's up there cracking a smile like, ah, you know what I mean? Like he has to be.
Yeah, he definitely has a sense of humor. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's funny. He's good. He knows what he's doing.
He does.
He's got to in order to deal with some of us. What you mean, girl? Yeah, I think Josh. I think I'm gonna do some. I have a recovery coach down here. She's amazing. She'll be 10 years clean and sober in January. And I'm gonna tell her about your books because let me tell you, I told you this area needs it bad. Like it needs to put everybody in the river and wash them clean. For real.
Yeah.
I really.
So I think I'm gonna get your books going down this way, man.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
have so
Thank you.
much
And
potential.
Celebrate Recovery is a great thing. If you don't have one there, there's probably you're probably or on the not really standing next to him, but in the picture you are. He might be able to help you be able to start a Celebrate Recovery.
Did you
Oh,
say Celebrate Recovery?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so listen, and please don't judge me when I say this, guys.
I'm not judging you, I promise.
So there's about 3 and another one getting ready to start in this area.
Okay. Good.
I used to enjoy going to them. I'd only go to them though when I was sober, like when I hadn't used in about a few days or whatever. And they around here, and this could be everywhere, but they go by reputation about how they're known out there in the community, and they pick and choose who they help. And I get frustrated when I see people go that are actually on it at the time of going to the meeting.
Yeah.
I have a hard time coping and going out there and being around them.
I understand totally.
Like, I know they're trying to reach out for help, maybe, possibly, but I can't go there because knowing that if they're even on it, it infuriates me because you're not taking it serious.
You talking about people that come in when they're using?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, I'm a CR leader, and so I have a perspective on people that come high to groups, and honestly, I want them there. It's not because I know it's hard to receive when you're high. Like our CR has a full meal that we do every week, and so we have a lot of guys that are using, they're homeless, that come and they will come for the meal. And maybe I'll get a little bit of time to fellowship with them, but they won't stay for the large group or the open shares. And it just tells me about where they're at. But this goes back to the seed planting to me. They know where they can come when they're ready.
Amen.
And I'm good with that. I'm not trying to plant my recovery in them or have my expectation. Because, expectations are just resentments under construction. And so I don't keep an expectation of people's sobriety or where they're at. I want people to come in and feel free to come in so they know that there's a place that they can land when they're ready to. And I got some great stories about those friends of mine that have just made transitions in other people's lives. And they were some of the worst looking people you would imagine when they walked in the door. Cuss you out in church, put their feet on the chair, talk during the group, get on their phone, all the things that, just say, I'm not interested in what you have to say, but they're there.
Maybe because, I am newly into the whole staying sober and into recovery. Maybe my perspective will change over time, but I'm just telling you that's how I am like now, just because
I was
I
gonna
know
say like all that.
You're
said,
good.
If you personally feel like you're not strong enough right now to be around that, like then completely know your boundaries and stuff. But yeah, I think definitely like once you get stronger in your sobriety, like I definitely feel like your perspective of that, and maybe not, and that's fine too. Like you do what is healthy for you. But I for sure like I know when I was home. Sorry, I don't mean keep talking over you. When I was homeless in Cincinnati, we went every night at 7:00 to this little church, and they had dinner there, and then they had service after, and we never did stay for service. But every day they would leave a little card on the table with a little like Bible verse and stuff on it, and I would take that card. You know what I mean? And like that was something
Yeah.
that I kind of looked forward to every day. You know what I mean? And I was nowhere near ready, but it was just a little bit like a seed. Like I'm about to cry. Like and just over them little prayer cards. You know, like it was amazing. So I
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's-
you have to safeguard what you got, and safeguards aren't permanent structures. You know what I'm saying? We move those safeguards a little more as we grow in our sobriety. So you're doing good. You're doing inventory. Step 10. You know, you're like, this is nothing can come before your sobriety. So that's good that you recognize it and know that it's a safeguard that you have to put up, but.
Well,
Don't ever think that it has to be permanent. You know what I mean? Only when
right,
you're
that's
ready.
what I was asking you. It was like you or saying, you know, it might change throughout, but it's just I've seen what they've done to me, you know, throughout the 26 years of my active using. I've seen what they've done to others. I see what they're still doing. And I mean, I'm no one to judge, but it just it burns my cookies so bad.
Burnt
You know what I
biscuits.
mean? Oof.
I do. You know what really burns my biscuits?
What? Okay, you got biscuits. I like cookies.
I like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, burnt biscuits. I have one that's called burnt biscuits. I'll read it for you. Then I got a handball appointment. But
He says he gotta go play handball.
yeah, I gotta get my exercise. It's a 3-part disease, you know.
Okay.
Mental health and spirituality.
I know I'm sitting here doing my makeup. So I
But
can go to the store.
it's called burnt biscuits. You know what really burns in my biscuits? When people toss around the phrase, you got to change your people, places, and things. Look, I get the sentiment. I really do. But let me break it down. If a person properly armed with the truth about themselves, if they've done the work, peeled back the layers, and faced their demons, they can stand in the same streets they used to crawl through. They can walk through hell with gasoline drawers and not flinch. If their motives are clear and their spirit is aligned. But if I ain't done the internal work, if I just ran from the scene of the crime without ever searching for the real killer, then Alaska ain't gonna save me. I'll find a dope fiend in a fur coat quicker than I can say I'm clean. I'll be in some frozen igloo sharing needles with a penguin, telling myself, this is peace, this is better, but it's just the same hell in a different zip code. You want to know what my drug of choice was? Any and more. If it got me out of myself, numb the pain, or silence the noise, I was in. See, changing your zip code don't fix a damn thing if you're still the same broken soul. Because real freedom doesn't come from running. It comes from standing still long enough to face your truth. And then walking forward with purpose, not panic.
I like that.
You know, I love sharing, changing your playpens, playthings, and playmates. That's one of my favorite sayings. But what you're talking about is 2 different stages of recovery.
Yeah.
You know, I could not go hang out in the places I was hanging out when I first got sober. I was not spiritually or recovery fit enough to do that. And so I had to separate myself from some of those things. It's almost like the boundaries we were talking about earlier. You know, I know what my triggers were. They're not even the same triggers today. The funny thing is that the triggers that I have today, and they're not really even using triggers, they're just me wanting to make myself feel better.
Yeah.
Or they're just different. Back then it was everything. Gosh, the wind could blow in the wrong direction and I'd want to get high.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I could be happy and want to get high. I could be sad and want to get high. I could be angry and want to get high.
It's like the
And
solution to
today-
everything. You're like, I'm cold.
Yeah,
I
it's-
I need a fix.
And it's not my solution today. And truthfully, I'm a big believer today in, you know, from where I'm at, and I won't speak for anybody else, is that I can go to any of those places that you were talking about. Now, I don't do it alone. I don't go into places without another person with me. And that's really just to save me.
Yeah. And you got to make sure your motives are pure.
Yeah, and you check your motives. I mean, that's something
Yeah.
I learned early
If
on.
you do that, then you can go anywhere. But now, if you, like, I get it, you know what I mean? But like, once you've done the work, you know, even the big book talks about it, you know, like, it doesn't say we can't go anywhere. So he can go anywhere that any other free man can go. You know what I mean? But with that said, you know what I mean? Like, make sure your spirit is aligned and you've done the internal
and
work.
I can go
And
back to what
is
Christ
clear.
said. He said he came for the sick, and so I got to hang out with the sick people if I want to work with them.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm good with that, but I wouldn't have been that good with it day one, and I certainly wasn't in the first year of my recovery. I hung out with my sponsors then.
Yeah, see, when I first got out, I was around somebody. I had to go take her some medication, and she started smoking crack right in front of me. Sorry,
It's okay.
Rogues. She started smoking that crap right in front of me, and I'm just like, she's like, oh wait, I forgot you got over here. I'm like, dude, do you? That crap don't bother me. Like, I was really shocked with myself, even though it's not my DOC. I was just like, I got home. I said, honey, you're not gonna believe what she just did in front of me. And I told him, and he's like, and you didn't do it? I said, no, I just walked right out. What am I gonna do?
Remove
This to her,
yourself. That's growth.
Yeah.
That's big right there. Congratulations.
that wasn't even a week out yet, girl.
Well, see, you are so strong. You got this, man. You can do it. Well, how many days are you
I
out
was
today?
gonna say, hey, there's a friend of mine joined in here, Domingo. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Domingo, thank you.
I'll have to look at my sunflower thingy, but I'm pretty sure I'm at 4.5 months.
4.5 months.
So, way over.
Congratulations. See, you are.
Yeah.
And
Girl,
I mean, like,
I have to.
I know that, like, your DOC was, like, it's at mental struggles, you know what I mean? Like, I know, like, the physical stuff is probably mostly going, aside from, like, you know, your health care, like you said, but, like, so,
Yeah.
like, that's why that particular DOC, I feel, in my opinion, is very dangerous because it's mostly mental, you know? So, but I think you got this. You're 4.5 months, man. You beat the worst of it, I think, in my opinion, and you just keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, you're doing something.
Well,
right.
I've lost so many in the past, like, even 6 years. But my biggest person that I lost was my grandmother 4 years ago. And I still cry every day over her. She's in this little locket I have right here. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Is it her ashes?
But on one side is grandma and one side is grandpa.
Nice.
My grandpa died in 2005 and she just passed away in 2021.
I love
And
that.
yeah, so I have them both. My mom got me this for Christmas and I wasn't clean and sober yet. But she allowed me to come at Christmas, but I wasn't allowed to be around certain family members then. Well, this Thanksgiving was my first sober all family.
Love it.
So, yeah. And, yeah, now I see there's another brain fart again. I'm so tired of it. I'm over it.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's like, I just push myself hard every day. Like I'm my biggest abuser. Like I beat myself up more than anybody now
Yeah.
these days.
Me
Better
too.
than anybody else doing it to me though, let me tell you.
I am too. I am
That's
my
pretty
own
common,
worst
though.
enemy. Yeah.
I think most of us beat ourselves up worse than anybody else does.
And like I
Yeah,
doubt
it's
myself
just-
so bad, like worse than anybody else. Like, people be standing here, like, my husband encouraging me to do this. People come on here and say, thank you for doing that. And I'm still in my head, like, oh, I don't know. Like
No, I get what you're saying.
yeah, like I
'Cause
have
look-
to battle myself daily. Like it's still, and that's just my mental,
It's the overthinking part of our heads.
yeah, critique myself,
Let
criticize
me tell you.
myself.
I'm a big overthinker too.
Yep. And I have to tell myself, stop it. I do mirror work and stuff a lot. Like I have a lot of self-conscious issues, and I know it. But like that, I know it, and I recognize. So I'll try to catch myself. Like you're being crazy. Like,
Well, I try to tell everybody if you catch me doing something I should, you know what I mean? Don't just stand there and let me just keep doing whatever, at
Yeah.
least say something
say you're
so I
being
know.
crazy. Put the crazy back in the box.
And that's what I love about Matt so much. He is the first person. He said, what personality am I
Maria.
talking to again? I'm like, get out of here with that BS. But that's what keeps our things going with us.
Yeah.
Because he's probably the only one that I've had ever, as a man, relationship in my life that can keep me on my toes the way he does. I mean, because everything, that's probably where I get a lot of my silliness from, too, is he is constantly cracking jokes 24/7. And it's like, okay, now you're trying to get me to heal in a different way, by... I love to make people laugh and smile. So, yeah, he's teaching me. I guess you can teach an old dog new tricks, but hey, I'm up for it though.
I love it. Okay,
Makes
so
me feel better.
I'm doing good, Maria. Thank you so much for being here. Maria is a follower of Kizzy, was on the live last night, who done the live that I shared on, and so she just popped in. I wanted to say hi to her. And I had another reading out of Josh's book. This one's called "We Can Recover." You are living proof that miracles walk this earth. Every breath you take shouts that God still saves, still heals, and still flips broken stories into testimonies. If you've made it this far, you've walked with me through fire, through tears, through laughter, and through raw truth. Know this, the dopeless dope fiend cares about you, but more importantly, the God of heaven has never stopped loving you, not for 1 second. So what's next? Go give that same love away. Be that light in someone else's darkness. Serve someone who can't return the favor. Forgive what others said could never be forgiven. Show up and be proof that recovery is possible. And when you stumble, and you will, get back up. Cry out to him. Grab the phone. Lean on your tools. Shoulder your cross and keep walking. The fight isn't finished, but neither is your story. Stay armed. Stay awake. Stay spiritually strong. We do recover. Joel 2:25. I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten. God rebuilds what addiction tried to wreck. He redeems the time, the years, and the pieces we thought were gone forever. God, thank you for breathing life back into the ruins. Keep restoring, keep leading, and keep me willing. Amen.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah, see, I got to hurry up and order his books.
Mm-hmm. They are so good. You know, and I don't
Mine
know.
arrived Thursday.
Thank
I
you.
bet they're not
And
safe.
if you're ever in Kentucky too, I know a couple of CRs that would love to have you.
I've been to the one in Winchester, Dickie Everman's group up there. That's a great story. You talk about, I was on a business meeting up in Kentucky, working in the oil and gas industry before I was a pastor, and I was already the regional director for CR in the South Central. And I went out to lunch, and late lunch, almost dinner with some guys, and they're all project managers. And so when the meal gets over, they just start into the drinking. And it's like, I was across the street from the hotel. It's like, hey guys, I'm going to go back and do some work. Y'all have a good evening. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. And I got back to the hotel room, and something just tweaked me that I was watching these guys just kind of, all order drinks. And it's like, okay, I'm going to sit in a hotel room all by myself tonight while these guys are sitting over there. It's like, I wonder if there's a CR meeting around here. And so I just got online and looked for one. There was one that it said it was 2 miles away. It's like, well, I was using their car, but I didn't have it. So I'll walk the 2 miles to the group. So I got out of the hotel room and walked to the group. About halfway there, the map updated, and it was 4.8 miles. So now I'm hoofing it in Winchester, Kentucky to get to a meeting that's more than twice as far as what I was going to walk. And I got there, and Dickie, who's actually the regional director of the Southeast United States now, was there, and I got to meet him and talk to him and had a great group. And he said, "Are you going to stay for the open share?" And I said, "I would, but I got a 5-mile walk back to the hotel. And I got to get up early." And he said, "Well, will you stay if I give you a ride?" I'm like, "I will stay if you give me a ride. I'll chair your next meeting if you give me a ride." So I just love that we get connected in places that are weird. I mean, I was out of town, and you can find people in recovery wherever you're at. You just have to look for them. And it gave me a safe night. Not that I was really worried about drinking. It's just kind of hate when you're around it.
Yeah,
and then you're alone.
You don't want to
Yeah.
you don't want to be around drunks if you're not drinking. Even not even just
Yeah.
people in recovery. Nobody
These
does.
are
'Cause
good
it's not
guys. They're not
fun.
alcoholics.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
but you still don't want to be around it because they're all just, I don't know, they're loud.
Well,
and doing their thing.
mine goes back to what I learned in early recovery, and this is right out of the big book. I'm always looking for what I can put into a situation rather than what I can take out of it. And when there's a bunch of friends of mine around just drinking at dinner, there's nothing for me to put into that.
Yeah.
And I don't want, and I'm not envying it. It's just, there's nothing for me really to contribute at that point.
But
And they
I
all
just-
know I was in
I
recovery.
love that you you went and found a meeting instead of staying, like you said, sitting there like miserable, like recovery sucks, it's so boring. You're like, hell no, I'm going to find my people and we're going to show out. You know what I mean? I guarantee you had a good time. You came home feeling great. Like,
And I did. That's the cool thing is that, I had more fun at a recovery meeting than those guys did at the dinner
Yeah.
table. I know that.
Andrew
I
probably
have
woke
no
up
doubt
Yeah,
feeling
because he
about
got
better
his
than they
workout
did.
in while doing it.
Okay, I had the dopamine rush from the 5 mile walk too.
I was gonna say,
Hey, a runner's
I got
high.
my 5 miles in for the day.
I love it. They're
I
like
don't run unless
halfway
something's
there.
chasing me.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's great.
I love
But
it.
Lee,
I like
Lee,
to ride bike.
gotta go. And Ken and Holly, thank y'all. I really appreciate y'all.
Bye.
And
Josh,
glad
you have a great handball
Thanks,
time.
Josh.
you
Better win at your game today.
Yep.
Always
Don't wanna
win.
beat ya. Bye, Josh.
Later.
Bye.
No, I like to ride bike, like pedal bike.
Yeah.
That's how I lost a lot of my weight. Because, when I finally got a bike when I was homeless, I had to keep that sucker right. Look, they steal bikes around here too. I mean, everywhere. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Most
I
of
love
my
to ride.
exercise comes from working on my property, so I get out on the property and work.
Yeah, well, it's all covered in snow right now, so I can't do nothing really.
I'm in Texas. There'll be one day if we ever have any
About
snow.
this
in
on
the-
my face. That's not very nice, young man.
Yeah, it's been cold here. I'm in like southeast Kentucky, and it's like been really cold. We had a little bit of snow
Uh-huh.
yesterday. Not much. It didn't stick or anything, but it was like cold and like blah. Yeah, Ohio. Yeah, it's been cold. You probably got it worse than we did.
Yes.
I'm from Ohio originally. Shout out. I'm from around Cincinnati, a little bit east of Cincinnati, like Claremont, Brown County, but I always say Cincinnati because people don't ever know where I'm from. A little like Kit County.
Yeah. Matt
Well,
Rice.
if I tell people I'm in San Jacinto County, Texas, nobody knows really where that is.
Dayton. I've been to
Seneca-
Dayton some.
I'm sorry.
What is it? Seneca?
In the comments, he's from Dayton. I said I've been up there some. Doing nothing good. It's a city. So, but I've been there.
Yeah, Matt Rice from Ohio. You know who that is?
No, it sounds really familiar. I feel like I do.
He's a comic.
Oh yeah. Oh, Matt Rife. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know he's from Ohio.
Yeah, he was just there at Ohio State for the game.
He's so.
Yeah, I
funny.
follow
He's
him
so
all,
funny.
girl.
Yeah,
Look,
he is so
I
funny.
should just go join the tour.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I would
The
love
whole
to
Midwest is getting covered in snow, aren't they?
Yeah. I see it on
yeah.
the news.
Yeah, I mean, cause it's like I can't even put it all on my screen for you guys.
Are you? Is it snowy where
But-
you are, Holly? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm in Michigan, girl.
Oh shit! Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Yeah, you got the snow.
Which part of the hand are you in?
Which hand? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Oh, come on.
I'm right
Gotcha.
down by Indiana line.
My
Yeah.
father-in-law.
My
is
my
from
my
Michigan.
my dad's family's from Indiana.
Indiana. I was locked up in Indiana for quite some time, but that's the only time I've ever been there. Well, obviously I was there doing dumb stuff, but I never like been there. We just where we were was like right across the line, and we ended up doing dumb stuff across the Indiana line. So
Right. Are you talking between Indiana, like where at? Because like LaGrange County is down by me. Or up by me.
St. Leon, Indiana is where what had happened was I was in a U-Haul. We did some illegal things.
Ew.
The cop was like looking for like they put out like a APB on our vehicle. We pulled off. We was on the 275 loop because we was smoking some rock, and we was just like driving around. And then when we got off on the St. Leon, Indiana exit to buy a wrap, and like, dude, it was so stupid. Like, it was just a stupid situation. Like, we knew the cops were, like, probably looking for us, and we stopped anyways because we're dumb and high, And we're going in to buy a wrap. I have a big, like, a big gulp cup full of change. And, like, I go in with it, and when we go in, a cop when we pulled in, we parked on the side of the building, and a cop pulled up, like, in the front. Well, I was like, me and one of the guys were already in the store. He drops the change everywhere. We were like scooping it up. We pay, and right as we pay, we're walking out the door, and we hear it come across his radio. Suspects in a U-Haul or something. So we come out and we just run. Like we just come. We don't even go back to our car. We just take off running. The other guy that was with us, we run. We get away. We like go up and all the way around this big mountain hill and walk. They like tow our U-Haul and stuff. But they had us on camera, and like they knew who we were. So that obviously we got warrants out for it. Yeah, dumb. And And
It happens, honey.
yeah, so I ended up doing some time in Indiana for some stuff like that, and so. But that's the only time I've ever been there. I was
I
in
can
Rockville.
yeah, I've never done like prison time and all the 26 years of substance abuse.
Really?
I sit here and I watch everyone around me go down left and right, and it's multiple times, right? Well, here I am 26 years into the shit. I mean, why? I was caught in a raid at somebody's house, not by choice. I admitted what was mine, which was just a little tiny speck. And they're like, Holly, come here and talk to us. I was like, what do you want? They're like, just tell us. I said, look, it was my substance. I brought it. It's smoked. It's gone. What more do you want? I said, but anything else in there is not mine. So I got off. They were trying to get me for possession and frequenting a drug house. I got off on just the usage charge because I told the truth. And I just look at all these people like, how can they? I mean, it's a revolving door for them at St. Joe County Jail here. Like, I just see them go, like, it's almost like a helicopter getting ready to take off. That's how
I've
bad
never
they're
even
going.
heard of a charge of frequenting a drug house. That's a new one.
Really?
Yeah,
They still have that here.
I've never heard that charge before.
Or frequenting, like, is like all the time. But then they have maintaining too, then, right?
No.
Not. Oh, my goodness gracious. I taught you something new today.
Yeah, I guess in Texas they just don't do that. It's like, well, you're at a drug house. I don't know you get charged for being at a drug house.
Yeah, you can get it for like, I don't know if you can say the word trap or not, but that's what a trap house normally is around here. It's you're maintaining one.
Yeah, I gotcha. Oh no, I mean they have them. I mean, I just never heard that charge before.
Oh yeah, they have that, and then the frequenting is going there over and over and over again. And I was like, look, this is my second time ever here. You're not going to get me for that charge. You've got to be kidding me. Like,
I know, like in Indiana, when I was there was people that would come in, like, if you, like, say if this is my house, and then for some reason the cops come here and you're sitting here and you have something on you, I go to jail. It's called something I can't remember. There's two. One's misdemeanor, one's a felony. They're just like the wording's a little different. I can't remember the words of them, but like I could not.
Yeah,
like people were in there for that. I'm like, dude, like, so how is that your? I guess you're supposed to know. Like, you don't pat people down when they come in your house. I don't know, but.
But see, the same thing if you have somebody in your vehicle as well. And you don't, that's why they say always be cautious of who you have in your car and know what they have on you. Because if something gets found, then the person that owns and is operating the vehicle is the one that gets charged with it. Is that something else too for you?
No, I mean, I usually what you've got on you is what people get arrested for here. Now, people try to ditch stuff in people's cars all the time. I mean, I've seen all sorts of stuff. I've never seen that the driver gets charged with somebody else's possession.
Oh yeah, here all the time.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's horrible. I was just thankful. Look, I said, look, you better tell me now if you got something on you now. And I was like, you better make sure you have it to grab, because I said I'm not claiming yours if we get pulled over.
All I can say for me is every time I ended up in jail, and I haven't done any prison time, but every time I went to jail, I deserved to be in jail. And then there were a whole bunch of times that I didn't go that I deserved to be in jail.
Yeah, I gotta just say it though. Nope, just that one time and all these years. And I knock on wood and I thank God every day, because He could have made it a lot worse for me, right?
Well, I go back to a cliche, but for the grace of God, go I.
Yeah, I fully believe that, like, God, 2 years clean, December 26th. Congratulations, Zanesville, Ohio.
Oh, congratulations.
In West Virginia now. Hell yeah. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
All right.
But
2 years is a big deal.
I spaced on what I was going to say. It's gone. I saw their December 2 years and I just spaced off. What's wrong? Oh. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to get baby fixed. There we go, sis. All right. Yeah, I completely spaced on what I was. I had something too, and it was gone, but it's okay.
I
You
remember.
do a great job of that, by the way, being live, just handling that stuff. I couldn't even have my dogs in the same room, and I'd be in trouble. So
I try. They do sometimes. Like I'll get caught up. Like I said last night, I was sitting here on the live, and my husband was in the living room, and they're like in here, and they're toddlers. They go around the house. They're old enough to like play around. So, but you realize it gets quiet, and I just did like this, and they were like right directly behind, so I couldn't see because the computer, and they had got open a whole brand new pack of paper plates, and they were just like, scattered.
You're playing frisbee, Mom.
Yeah, they're just playing. They're fine, but like. It was just funny. I was like, sometimes that stuff does happen. The other day, I was on. I was not doing a live, but I was in one with Ember, and I was just sitting here talking. And I looked up. They had gotten to the game cabinet and got out all the board games. All the pieces are everywhere. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, that's
I
what you're
just laugh.
saying.
Yeah, I swear, like I do. I catch myself like initial, wave of anger, and then I just start laughing because I'm like, God, it's not even that big of a deal. Like I'm
They're
so
only little ones,
different.
Mommy.
Yeah. And man, my kids, dude, they're my world. Like, I couldn't do it without them, man. They are my reason. Like, I know people say you can't do it for anyone else and blah, blah, blah. But, like, my kids are my reason. I have my oldest daughter. I was in prison when I had her. She went to foster care while, because I didn't anybody take her, all the stuff. And, like, and when I got out, I got out of prison October 22nd. December 5th, I stood in court and got all my rights back because I got out. I got a job doing
that's
drywall
awesome.
the day I got out. Got my license, got a car, got a house, all in that, like, month and a half. And now I did have help. I had amazing people. God blessed me. God set it up for me, man. But I did. I got my baby straight back, and ever since then, I relapsed one time in this little, during this little journey. But man, my kids they're my reason to keep going.
Yeah,
well,
that's right.
I love that my grandkids have never seen me use. I mean, they've never known me as the person I was when I was in my addictions.
Yep.
Do they know? So they don't know at all?
Oh yeah, everybody knows my story's just out there. I talk about it in churches all the time. I don't have any secrets, but they just have never seen it. The person
So I
that's
got a
there.
question for you then.
Yeah, go ahead. And by the way, Bam Bam, congratulations on the
I was
102
getting ready to
days.
say that. Thank you.
So
Congrats.
listen, guys. Listen.
Okay, what's your question?
I need some kind of, because look, I'm about putting my story out there about helping people like Leanne. So Matt's dad has no clue that I'm an addict whatsoever. And I used to sit around the table and have to hear him talk about us addicts. How worthless, how, just downgrading we were. And the homeless as well. And I was homeless when I got with Matt. Okay, so I just started within the past month. Maybe before this. I can't remember exactly when. I started putting it out there on my Facebook because I'm friends with a lot of Matt's family and stuff. And I'm just to the point, I said, honey, I'm sorry, but if I don't speak it, who am I then? Am I going about it the wrong way?
Well, I'll tell you, for me, and I shared this earlier, my anonymity I gave up a long time ago, but I also have a lot of time. And so I didn't start out being very transparent about my addiction to people. Everybody that knew me knew I had a problem. But to what extent I was public about it, I was not very public. And Facebook didn't exist when I got sober. So
It was MySpace? No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, that didn't exist when I got sober either. So,
okay.
I mean,
He's
look.
got like 29 years in.
Yeah,
so Yahoo.
I've got a day or two.
Yeah.
But
Like instant messaging or something.
yeah, what is it? What AOL chat was around.
There you
Dial up.
Yeah, well, it was dial up. Baud modems. So that may be my new nickname is Baud Modem Recovery. And so there wasn't as many ways to put your stuff in public as there. I figured saying it in an AA meeting was about as public as I was ever going to get in my first 3 years in recovery. Today, I don't really care where it is, and I don't know who the people are you're talking about. Matt, is it a child or?
He's my husband. Yeah.
Her husband. Okay. And so the people that know.
Right.
I mean, like my whole family knew I had a problem, so that wasn't really a big secret. What it says in the big book, it talks about people getting, once they get into recovery, they kind of get this, they want to throw themselves on the mercy of the court.
Mm-hmm.
You still have a right to protect yourself. You have a right to protect your level of anonymity. Like I said, mine I gave up a long time ago, but I will protect yours vigorously.
Well,
You're putting yourself on this page right now, puts you out there in the public view, and that's your choice. I mean, I never would dictate that on another person. But also, I mean, when people are going through, and I get this a lot with the people I work with, is they're going through a divorce and there's a child custody, and some of the things you don't necessarily want out there in public while you're resolving those things.
no, that's not like what I meant. Maybe I said it wrong. What I'm saying is like he's worried about his dad knowing that part of my life.
Okay, so your husband's dad?
Yes.
Okay. Well, and because he's judgmental and has these deep opinions about it.
Have you ever tried to like educate him, like indirectly, like, oh, addiction?
Girl, he is 81 years old.
Oh yeah.
He is not.
Sometimes people just are gonna, sometimes people are just gonna be like that.
But
I think, in my opinion, I'm sorry, I mean to talk over you, but in my opinion, I think you either have to just accept it, just don't tell him and go on, if it's that big of a deal. Does it matter to you if he knows or not? Like, if it's important to you that he knows who you are, then I think maybe figure out a way to tell him. If you really don't care, then maybe just let it go. Because a lot of times, and not everybody, and this is just my opinion, but like older people, like, you're probably not going to change his mind. Like, if he thinks what he's saying.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like.
No, and it's not that. It's just, I'm worried.
Well, you're just talking about boundaries inside your relationships is what you're talking about.
Yeah, like Matt knows I post all this stuff, and I was like, Matt, I'm to the point now, because I had to sit there and listen to him judge them people day in and day out. Like, his dad doesn't really care for me right now anyway. So, but I'm not going to lie to him anymore either. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel he deserves to know.
I'm gonna share something that's just from my experience on this, and I'm not saying that he's going to change his mind, and I'm not trying to influence what you do or don't do. Okay. What I have found in my recovery, and so I'll just keep it kind of about me, is people have been a whole lot more receptive to me being honest with them, more so than my fear of not being honest with them, and I think it's really refreshing for a lot of people. For the people in my life, when I started getting honest, they cut me a lot more slack than I thought I was going to get. Yeah. I'm not saying that they didn't judge me, and I'm not saying they didn't talk about me behind my back or anything like that, but I am saying that I got a lot more grace from them than what I expected. And if you don't, cut bait. I mean, if I don't get it from somebody, I don't lose sleep over that today. But if it's out there and you don't mind him knowing, just be honest and just say, I know you have strong opinions about this. This is something I'm struggling with and working on. Yeah, that's how I would approach it. But that's each their own.
He doesn't even know that we're in this. That Matt and I are in the same house.
I got you.
So,
so there's a lot of honesty stuff that has to come out.
Well, I'm just talking about the relationship.
No,
guys.
He doesn't know
give
a lot
me a break. I'm trying.
No, that's okay.
But to coerce my husband into doing this, I have to let him do it at his own pace. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for my part, I just try and be authentic and sincere with everybody and honest. I tell my sponsees, I don't know everything. I can only make one promise to my sponsees, is that I won't lie to you.
No, I just wanted to hear what your guys' thought on was about that, because I struggle with that. So,
I just know that I've gotten a lot more grace being honest with people, especially the ones that kind of already knew. Now, if he doesn't know anything, maybe not. But the bottom line is, I have never gone to someone. Okay, even in my amends, which I had a lot of people I had to make amends to when I got to the 9th step. Of all the people that I had to make amends to, there is only one person who said, "That's great, Ken. I never want to see your blank, blank, blank again." And that's one out of hundreds of people that I went to.
Absolutely. absolutely.
So, I mean, I know that there's a lot of grace out there. And if it's the one out of hundreds of people, I'm okay that he doesn't like me.
Okay. Well, I
I'm
think that's
not in recovery for him.
Yeah,
And I
right.
didn't go to make amends to him, to fix him. I went to clean up my side of the street.
well, like I said, he's 81.
Yeah,
And
81's tough. He may not
yeah,
change.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna leave that one alone, buddy.
Yeah, and sometimes
For
we just
sure.
do have to be okay with people, like, people healing at their own speed, or maybe never healing at all, like, because we did the damage, and or like, I don't know that you really did him damage, but like you did, like, you are an addict, blah 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 blah. And if you want to let him know, and then, I mean, like, if you feel like he deserves to know and you want, then do it and let him know. And then if he doesn't accept you, like, oh well, sounds like he doesn't really accept you that much now, anyways. Maybe he'll respect you
Well,
for
let
being
me.
honest. It may go, like I said, 81. Like you all said, I don't know about that, but it may. You never know. He may respect the honesty and the transparency. Like, and if not, meh.
So I'm very honest when it comes about certain. When it comes to my father-in-law, it's hard to be honest with him. I can talk about this all day and be honest all day long. So, see, I just that's 3 times a day, girl. What the heck?
Only 3? Well, that's
You
good.
better stop yourself. I'm fired.
You're not fired to me. I lose trains of thought all day long.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm
Yeah,
on the wrong train.
Watch, it'll come back to me when I least expect it.
Here, I'll tell you, I'll share one other thing about that kind of concept is it's funny. Some of the most judgmental people about addicts and alcoholics and all the things that I did wrong, as soon as they had a face with it, they didn't treat me the way they talked.
Huh.
Sometimes
so,
it
I mean,
does
and
make a
that-
difference. Like if it's a lot of people like dog on addicts until their child or their sister or their mother,
Yeah.
like, so maybe it will hit home for him. Maybe.
Especially if they're working on it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm sure that if the people in my life, a lot of them were waiting for me to fail again. I mean,
Well,
they'd
okay,
heard a lot of excuses from me for a lot of years. So I mean, some
it
of them were like,
came
"Yeah,
back to
that's
me,
great,
so hold
Ken.
on.
We're gonna hedge our bets for a little bit on you."
So this is what happened. I wasn't trying to talk over you, but it just came back to me. So, Leanne, don't laugh at me, girl. So, before I went to rehab, Matt was moving out of the trailer we were in. And he was telling me he wasn't going through with a divorce, that he'd be back. Well, he started loading all this stuff up into this trailer. His dad showed up with a U-Haul. And he took the cabinet that had all our wedding stuff in it, right? And I said, wait a minute, that's our, wedding stuff. Because, I'm being told by my husband at the time, I'm coming back. It'll be about a month, blah, blah. Well, I go to rehab, and I'm thinking Matt's, because we got a notice to quit the same time I was going to rehab. So Matt's moving everything out. Now, at this time, I'm already up in rehab. And I'm talking to Matt, and I'm like, well, you guys send me this money so I can get home, And he's like, okay. He goes, but I'm not at Dad's. I'm like, where are you? So he gives me the address. The house we're at now, he said it was a friend's house that he was storing all of our stuff. See, Matt was telling me these lies. I have a big thing about people lying to me about shit. Excuse my language. Because I will take that lie, I'll go straight to that person and ask them about it. I'm not scared. Well, the cabinet that our stuff was in, he said his dad told him that his cousin wanted it back. So I messaged him on Messenger. I'm still in addiction. And I said, hey, Josh, I said, did you tell your grandpa that you wanted the cabinet back that you gave me and Matt? He's like, Holly, there's a no return policy. I'm like, oh, hell no, somebody lied to me. So I called John up because I was getting frustrated with Matt. And I started yelling at him. And I said, look, you can tell Matt the lies all you want, but I just talked to Josh and he didn't want that cupboard back. And I hung up on him. So I yelled at him for something that my husband did. So when I was in rehab, I wrote an apology letter to him and my stepson. And when Matt gave me the address to here, the very next day I found out Matt purchased this house. This is his house. And I'm like, you mother humber. Ooh. But I couldn't let me get mad because, you know, it's like the dream house I wanted. This. I'm just like, so
Why?
Dad hates
I'm
me.
curious. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. Why? Why was
Yeah.
he lying? I don't understand. Like,
Because I was a crazy look. If I didn't have it, I was a bad withdrawer. Like, you know, us women are crazy,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
So
Did he? Like,
I'm not going to
want
say
you
that at all,
in?
Holly.
I'm saying it for you.
You're
okay?
not allowed. Like, no. Just,
So I just had I don't understand exactly why he lied or why I did. I think honestly, in my opinion, he was scared and didn't think I was going to change. So he was trying to protect himself,
I understand.
if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Perfect.
I'm not,
So
I'm
I
not
don't hold this
justifying the lie. I'm just saying that, you know,
No.
look, as a seasoned liar myself,
So I
almost
think,
always lies for me almost always happen because I wanted an outcome that wasn't going to happen if I told the truth,
So when
or I was manipulating to get something else.
I was gonna say manipulating.
so
yeah.
when I so
Or
when
I
I
needed
got,
to blame somebody for something that I had done
yeah,
that I didn't want to
So-
take
I
responsibility
didn't do
for.
nothing.
But
I'm not
protecting,
wrong. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
right.
so I
when I
mean,
got here and saw that cover here and stuff, I was like, you told me that your nephew, or cousin or whatever. And he's like, yeah, he goes, I didn't want you to know. He's like, I had to make sure that you were going to do this. And, you know, because I was like, what? Because you didn't want me to be on the streets again? Because I told you if I didn't have you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, Holly, I had to make sure this was right. So but it just, I can't get him to say anything to his dad now. And it's a little bit of a mess, but you know, I created that. I shouldn't have went and said anything to his father. I should have just, you know, but I know me, guys. You know, we know
well, but what's I'll tell you something. When you've got something that doesn't make, and I won't put it on you, I'll put it on me again.
you can
When there's something that doesn't, when there's something that's going on that doesn't make sense to me, I'm pretty good at figuring out that things don't smell right or taste right or look right. I mean, I'm a big believer if it wobbles like a duck and it quacks like a duck and water rolls off its back like a duck, it's probably a duck. But if things don't make sense to me, I don't always know why they don't make sense. And so, I mean, I think it's okay to say I didn't know what was going on and I made some assumptions, which I know what that does when I make assumptions.
Makes
You know,
that's how you
sometimes they're okay, and sometimes they lead me down a path that I wasn't intending to go down. And you know, that's the beauty of the amends process is when I do make an assumption and I harm someone or say something or do something or whatever it is, I can take responsibility for it today.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
look, I totally misunderstood the situation and I was making accusations based on my understanding and they were wrong.
It's okay.
Well,
And
I
that just things up
apologize.
outside the street.
Yeah.
I apologize, but I
Yeah.
when he finally got my letter, I just think he was just, his sisters were ready to come beat my butt over this, and I'm just like, well, what for? Do they know what you said? My husband's not very good about, you know, saying sorry to, you know, like, I'm like, you know what, I'll get you one day. You just wait and see. No, I won't.
Well, you know, you open up a really interesting can though that gives you an opportunity to have some discussions with your husband.
Oh, trust
You know,
me. If you only knew, honey.
I kind of do, but I don't.
Just,
I
yeah.
kind of do. I'm married. I kind of know, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Look, our what is it that? Gosh, I'm losing my train of thought there. I just lost one.
He had a ring
The
for
point I was trying to make is that, look, most of the time I kind of know what's going on,
Yeah.
and then the rest of the time I'm just going through it. You know, I'm doing the best I can with what I have, and so when you know I make an assumption about something that's based on all the information I have, and I'm not out to hurt anybody, it's pretty easy for me to take responsibility. If
Yeah.
it's a mistake that I, you know, genuinely went into with my eyes open, that's a bigger problem. And it doesn't sound like you went into it with your eyes open.
No.
And so that just opens up an opportunity for you and your husband to have some conversations about
Trust me,
what
I've been
recovery
telling-
looks like and what it was like then. Because to be honest, I've had some great conversations with my family after the fact, where it's like, we didn't tell you a bunch of stuff because you were not trustworthy.
Listen, I could be a really loose cannonball.
Well, and so could I. So I mean, I cut them a lot of slack on. I mean, I don't want them to have to guard themselves against me, but I know they used to have to.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I wouldn't tell you guys because it's comical, but yet it's not comical because it put a dent in to what I'm working for. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to make sure I get that dent out somehow.
Yeah. Well,
But that all comes
you can
with
pull
time.
out dents in recovery.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's important to share and
Well.
get things off your chest. Like, maybe if you don't even say nothing to his dad, but you might just feel better by telling us, by getting it out, And I mean, and I'm not saying don't tell him. By all means, if you tell him, let him. Who cares if he judges you? We can't care, I love you no matter what. So.
Thank you.
But
all right. Well, I'm gonna jump off. I gotta run to the store.
I was gonna say
I'm
we've
glad I
been
can
on
make
for
you all
2
smile and
hours.
laugh.
So.
I know we're bad, aren't we?
Yeah, it's okay. It's
Just
okay. I love it.
Leanne, get a hold of me on Facebook
Hi,
and
Kenny.
let Ember know that I can't message people. I don't know how for long.
Okay, I'll tell her.
So,
Take
all
care,
right.
Holly.
You guys have a wonderful night.
Yeah, bye.
I'll see you
Ken,
later,
bye.
Polly.
Kenny, thank you for being in
Bye.
the comments. We're closing up. I've been on here for 2 hours, but I'll be back on about 7. Everybody, we're on every night at 7 Eastern Standard Time on TikTok. On the weekends, we're on 7:30. I also run a podcast, Feral But Sober. You can catch it on YouTube, Podbean, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Fridays at 6. This Saturday, it's going to be about 4. Bye.